Everyone, it's that time of year again, and Christmas films are hitting the theaters. Sometimes they are charming, sometimes they're delivered with real heat. This year, one of the big holiday releases is Silent Night, Deadly Night. The question is, does this new film measure up as a new cult classic, or is it just a little too far off the mark as a holiday movie? Let's break it down and see if this new Christmas film is for you. If you find this review helpful, please do give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more. Thank you so much. Silent Night, Deadly Night is a new addition to the controversial Christmas slasher franchise, which I'll admit I have never seen. This is my first foray into these films, and this remake follows a young man named Billy Chapman who, during his youth, experienced a traumatic event that continues to echo through in his adult life. In this version, Billy takes on the mantle of a Santa-clad figure, but instead of eating cookies and drinking milk while leaving goodies and Christmas presents under the tree, he kind of tracks down and violently punishes people he believes are on the naughty list. Early in the film, Billy meets a woman who immediately catches his eye, and this complicates his singular focus on his Yuletide mission of completing his annual Advent calendar for the year. That connection introduces an emotional thread which runs through the story and gives us something more to hang on to than just the kills he's racking up. As the narrative unfolds, you find yourself wondering whether Billy is driven by some deeper calling or if he's simply losing his grip on reality. Right off the bat, the first thing you'll notice is just how violent this movie really is. From the title to the poster to the actual scenes you get, this clear view of the film in the trailer, and you know what this movie is selling. And if you enjoy violent thrillers or slasher style movies that push the limits, Silent Night, Deadly Night delivers that in spades. Is that a pun? I think I just made a pun. This is absolutely a Christmas film in the broadest, most thematic sense. But make no mistake, that is it. It's not a family movie. It's not a happy Sunday afternoon, bring the kids to the theater kind of film. This is a hard R-rated slasher fueled by revenge and justice delivered in the bloodiest way possible. It is violent for a reason. There's no sugarcoating that this is very much an eye for an eye justice film. When I first walked into theater, I thought maybe this was a continuation of Violent Night from last year, which I really enjoyed because, again, I honestly had never seen any of the films in this franchise, so I wasn't sure if there was a connection. And guess what? It's not. It did seem like there might be some dark humor in this film, though, from the trailer, but the movie is a bit too serious in its self-awareness for that kind of fun. So what we get is this kind of quirky, very serious, and super bloody retribution story. One area where the film does a solid job is in developing Billy as a character. Over the course of the movie, you learn who he is, where he came from, and what shaped him into the person that he is in this particular Christmas story. You begin to sympathize with him a bit on some level, even while you're watching him do things that are clearly horrific. Meanwhile, Pamela, the woman he meets, is a little bit funny. And again, she's kind of where the quirkiness comes from. And she's a bit sexy too, kind of. She has good hair, by the way. She's the source of the few lighter moments in the film. Her presence gives Billy a more human dimension and provides some levity in the story that, rarely pauses long enough for any real emotional breakthroughs. This movie raises some uncomfortable questions, though. Here's the one that was the most persistent for me. If someone is doing something truly terrible and the system is not stopping them, do they deserve to be killed outside of our system of justice? If so, who gets to make that judgment call? Who gets to make that kill? Should it be a Santa figure making holiday judgments? Should it be God? Should it be some other shadowy mythological figure? Or should it be left to the police and the rule of law? These are questions the film hints at but never actually explores head on. The narrative seems to assume that if Billy doesn't step in, these people will continue to cause harm. Where does that leave us in terms of ethical reasoning? Does that justify his actions? The movie ends without making that argument explicitly, leaving it up to you to wrestle with. One thing that's interesting to note is that as violent as this movie is, it doesn't actually feel very holiday like in a traditional sense. So I don't know. There's like this weird connection between the violence and the naughty list and the punishments. And kind of Christmassy, kind of not Christmassy. There are Christmas decorations and an advent calendar that he uses to track down his victims. And he does it one by one, day by day. And, emotionally and thematically, this is a very dark story that ties into those darker Christmas themes. For me, it didn't really connect with any of the warmth or the spirit of the season that I normally like in films like this. There's a naturalness to the flow of the story, though. It's set up in such a way that you understand where you are at all times. And because of that, a lot of the film is really predictable. You know, generally what is going to happen next. I anticipated certain plot moments and it hit them right on cue. At the same time, there are some moments that are going to surprise you, not necessarily because they're shocking in a twist ending kind of way, but because the film goes somewhere that you might not expect emotionally. That balance between predictability and clarity is built into the structure of the film. One thing to keep in mind, this movie is not for everybody. I don't mean that in a negative way either. I mean, if you're uncomfortable with relentless violence, graphic retribution, or stories that leave you uneasy rather than uplifted, this probably isn't your ticket. I don't mind violence in movies. In fact, I often enjoy action films and thrillers where there is brutal combat or intense sequences. What bothered me here wasn't the violence itself. It was the ethical territory that the story occupies without offering a clear way back to something more constructive. If you go see this, don't bring your young kids. This isn't something I'd bring my grandparents to either. People looking for classic holiday cheer are going to be kind of disappointed. So, is Silent Night, Deadly Night ticket worthy? That really depends on what you're looking for. If you enjoy movies that make you question the nature of justice and retribution during Christmas time, if you like violent films that lean into moral ambiguity without easy answers and have lots of Christmas decorations, this might be a film that you find interesting. One thing to keep in mind is that while this movie moves forward with an ending that feels kind of both predictable and surprising, there is at least one twist that you may not totally anticipate. For me, there were elements I appreciated, but overall it left me feeling a sense of discomfort. I walked out of the theater feeling a little bit sick to my stomach, not because of the effects, but again, because of the ethical dilemmas that sat with me. It made me wonder whether this was the kind of holiday film experience I wanted after all. And I don't know. It just wasn't for me, but it might be for you, and that's okay. Silent Night, Deadly Night delivers exactly what its marketing promises: extra violence, brutal stakes, and a Santa who punishes the naughty list in the most extreme way. It's a Christmas movie in the loosest sense of the term, and one that will appeal to a very specific audience. It doesn't hold back, it doesn't apologize, it doesn't give you easy answers either. If that sounds like a film for you, I think you should go see it. And if you're hoping for something with a little more warmth and spirit for the season, or something that reconciles its violence with a sense of holiday goodwill, this probably is not what you want to go see. Whatever your take, I'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comments. And I'd love to know what some of the darker holiday films are that you enjoy, which ones work for you. Thanks so much, everybody. Thanks for watching. Please do give this review a thumbs up, subscribe for more, and share with a friend so they know what to expect with this film. And I will leave it there. Why not check out one of these videos and let me know what you think of these other films? Thanks so much, everybody. I'll see y'all again soon. In the meantime, happy viewing. Bye for now.